What if everything we've been taught about death isn't a complete story? What if the end of life isn't really an ending at all? For thousands of years across vastly different cultures and religions, people have reported remarkably similar experiences that suggest consciousness might continue beyond the physical death. Today we're exploring 3 fascinating pieces of evidence that challenge how we think about mortality. Reincarnation isn't just an Eastern concept. It's woven into the belief of cultures worldwide, from ancient Greece to indigenous traditions to modern Western spirituality. The core idea is simple. Your consciousness, your soul, doesn't end when the body does. It moves forward. What happens when one of the world's most rigorous physicists steps outside the boundaries of conventional science and into the spiritual awakening? Well, Dr. David Clemens did exactly that. He was trained at Oxford and Cambridge. For people who hold the same or similar belief, life becomes something different. Challenges aren't dead ends. Their lessons, setbacks, are not failures. They're growth experiences. And I know we've been told this many a times. Consciousness is not confined to your brain. We are part of a vast intelligent field that pervades all existence. And as humans, knowing reduces anxiety and creates a sense of purpose that extends far beyond a single lifetime. Now this is where it gets interesting. A young boy in England developed an intense obsession with the Titanic. He was only about 4 or 5 years old at the time. But he wasn't just interested in the ship. He knew technical details about its constructions. Details a kindergarten shouldn't know. He drew over 100 detailed sketches of the ship's interiors. He talked about mistakes in the design. He knew the ship used iron instead of steel, and why that mattered in freezing water. When his family researched, they discovered his knowledge matched Thomas Andrew, the Titanic's designer who died on the ship on that maiden voyage in 1912. Is this coincidence, or is it evidence of something we don't truly understand yet? Researchers like Dr. Ian Stevenson spent decades investigating cases just like this. He documented thousands of children worldwide who claimed to remember past life. What shocked the scientific community? Well, many of these children provided specific, verifiable details they couldn't have learned any other way. It's not proof, but it is compelling evidence worth taking seriously. Then there are the near-death experiences. People who've been clinically dead, whose hearts have stopped, whose brain showed no activity, often report striking similar visions. A tunnel, a light, a sense of profound peace and love. Sometimes encounters with beings or deceased loved ones. The fascinating part, these experiences vary by gender, by age, yet share a common core. Women often describe emotional and relational elements. Men emphasize events, encounters. Children describe wonder without the complexity of adults, add-ons. But all of them transform. Most report losing the fear of death and anxiety. In Tibetan Buddhism, this isn't theoretical. it's practice. When a respected spiritual teacher dies, the community searches for their reincarnation. And they find them, often a young child who remembered specific details about their past life, who recognizes objects that belong to their previous incarnation, who demonstrate wisdom far beyond their years. The most famous example, the current Dalai Lama, was recognized as a reincarnated teacher when he was just 2 years old. He passed every test. He knew things a toddler couldn't possibly know. Whether it's the detailed memory of the past life, the universal patterns in near-death experiences, or the systematic recognition of reincarnated teachers, humanity keeps bumping into the same question. What if consciousness does not end?